Tiger fans, back in my normal location. And wow, what a game I got to see. It was worth the time. It was worth the money. It was worth the drive that I drove up to see Riley Greene. What a great last two games. And I'm not going to come on here and say I told you guys so because it's been two games. But in the Riley Greene era, they have scored 21 runs in two games. They have hit 4 home runs in two games. Spencer Torkelson's looked way better. Riley Greene has come up, already got on base 4 times, walked 4 times already. Couple of hits, couple clean singles. It was great, and it's hard to put it in words, and I don't want to ramble on this video for 45 minutes about how awesome it was, how awesome that game was. I will say, I have a little bit of a bone to pick with the Tigers. If you're a Tigers fan like me who enjoys collecting sports memorabilia, I mean, as you can see behind my fat head, I got a couple of Miggy 16x20s. Mike Trout is obviously my all-time favorite player. I got Acuna, and then I got Correa Buxton. I collect a lot of sports memorabilia. If I could ever set this up how I'd want to set it up, you guys would see my cabinet of all my Tiger stuff. It's honestly insane and kind of pathetic for a guy that's going on 31 years old. If you are a Tigers fan like me and you want to go down to Comerica Park and you want to save your ticket for that game, you got to buy the ticket at the box office. Because the Tigers have now implemented a thing where they will no longer print you a hard ticket from your e-tickets anymore. And I believe the reason for that being is the Tigers have caught wind of the secondary market of people getting their hard tickets printed of specific games for specific rookie debuts. And they're taking hard tickets and they're selling them for, 4 times the value of face value. For example, I have a Spencer Torkelson debut ticket. I paid $37 for the ticket when I went to the game. They were printing them off at that game. I should have spent the $6 to get it printed off because now I had to buy another ticket. When Torkelson first debuted, they were selling for $150. I had to go and then wait for Torkelson to slump off, and I ended up getting one for $20. So I had to buy a ticket of a ticket I'd already paid for. I didn't want to have to face that challenge again, so I go to get a Riley Greene debut ticket, and there's multiple groups on Facebook that are people that are season ticket holders and do the same stupid stuff I do. And the Tigers are no longer printed for you. So yet again, I paid $35 for a ticket, and I had to buy another ticket of a ticket I already paid it for because they won't print tickets off at the stadium because the Tigers now want to sell the hard copy tickets in the authentics section, so they're the ones making the money off of the debut stubs. And I didn't even want it to sell it for resale. I just wanted it for my collection. But neither here nor there. I think that's a little greedy that they won't let you even get your ticket anymore. It used to be, I'm sounding like an old man, but it used to be, I have tickets from 2009, 2010. I just throw them in my little clear sleeve. You didn't think anything of it. This was before QR codes. Now, it's impossible to get a damn hard ticket unless you go to the box office. It's stupid. But anyways, let's start talking about this Tigers team. What a complete 360 turnaround. Like I discussed in my last video, I have been calling for Riley Greene's call-up for the last 2 weeks because everything I said, we have seen in a very minuscule sample. Again, I'm not going to come on here and start touting, Riley Greene's the savior of the team. I specifically said in my last video, he is not the savior of the team, and this team still is not very good, and this team is still not going to make a playoff spot. This team's still not going to win the division. This team's still not going to be a 500 team. This team is not a World Series contender right now with Riley Greene. But what we have saw is every single freaking thing I've been saying for the last 3 goddamn weeks. There was a spark in the lineup. There was energy in the lineup. I get to Comerica Park. So let's go to an overview of what happened at the Riley Greene game. I get to Comerica Park. I get there an hour early, specifically because I wanted to watch Riley Greene. I wanted to see him in the warm-ups. They had the Negro League jersey giveaway thing. Sweet, cool, great. I was super impressed by what A.J. Hinch did for Riley Greene's debut game. There was the 3 guys from Toledo who all played together for a while, coming up through the minors. Cody Clemens, Torkelson, Riley Greene, all were starting in the lineup. What was going on before game? Clemens, Torkelson, Greene were all playing catch with one another. I watched their complete warm-up. It was so awesome. These guys, and Robbie Grossman, for as much as he's not been hitting until these last 2 games, his veteran presence is so great. He's so good to the young guys because there was Clemens, Torkelson, and Greene all playing catch with one another, and who was in Riley Greene's ear right before the game and pretty much during warm-ups? Robbie Grossman. He was over there, had his arm around him, probably giving him some advice, like, hey, drink it in, kid, you got this, blah, blah, blah. But those 3 guys playing catch, and you could just see their interaction with one another, like everything was really loose, and then they all get done playing catch, and they all just have this big hug, and I was like, this is a great lineup. This was a great thing that Hinch did. He's basically making Greene as comfortable as possible. He knows what this kid's going to do. He knows this kid's got talent. He knows this kid is in his major league debut. So he puts his friends in the lineup. You could see they were loose. You could see they were all happy. Game starts off. Ronnie Garcia is pitching. Adolis Garcia hits a moonshot. Now, I was in this game, and every time I go to a Tigers game, I smack talk the crap out of the Tigers because, us as Tiger fans, collective whole, I'm not as extreme as some of you people, like even people who have been commenting on my videos lately that think that Avila needs to go and Chris Ilitch is the devil and, this team is total garbage. I'm not one of those fans because I feel like I have a more realistic viewpoint of how things are, and more people are like 97 won the ticket fans and ESPN style fans where they just want snap overreaction and they don't look at the whole picture. They look at the now. And I'm going to make a video on Wednesday called The Timeline where we talk about the actual timeline of the rebuild. Because everyone keeps saying it's 7 years, but it's not. But we're going to get into that. So, Adolis Garcia hits a home run, and they're down 1-0, and I'm already like, well, the Tigers only won 7 games this entire season when the other team scores first. So I'm sitting there, I'm kind of yelling at him a little bit, whatever. Just making jokes, making people laugh because I'm a clown. So, first, Tigers half of the first inning, they come up, and Robbie Grossman smacks a freaking home run. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I yell and I make a joke. I'm like, yeah, now they got 32 on the season. They almost, they're coming for Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, 32, baby. And then they get another hit, and then Javier Baez comes up. And I'm like, what's going on here? So I yell, I'm like, if Javi Baez gets a home run right here, there's some angels in the outfield stuff going on. And what happens? Javier Baez hits a freaking home run. He hits his first home run at Comerica Park since against the second series against Boston when Boston came into town when he hit that one home run to put the Tigers up a couple of runs in the 8th inning. So naturally, me being a clown and a dumbass, I got up out of my seats and these people were all laughing because I was yelling, "Here's some angels in the outfield," and I was going like this, doing the angels in the outfield wave because I couldn't believe what was going on. I mean, they had hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. That was more home runs than they had hit in the last 20 games. Willie Castro hit the first home run the other day for the first time in 8 games. And I don't even know who hit the home run before that. It had to have been Jamer Candelario was the last one to hit home run. They probably had 2 home runs in the last 20 games. It was brutally bad. So then Riley Greene comes up facing Taylor Hearn, lefty on lefty. And you guys have heard me say a bunch of times how good of a hitter Riley is left on left. I mean, he's just got a great swing. First pitch, his second pitch of the sees, he flares one out into over the shortstop's head, little dink shot, all counts the same in the scorecard. Gets his first major league hit, first at bat, second pitch in, and I was going nuts. I was so happy for Riley. He got it out of the way early quick, because, you got to think Clemens was 0 for 18 in his first 18 at bats. It took Torkelson 5 games to get his first major league hit. And, for Riley to do it in his first at bat, just get it over with really, really quick, it was fantastic. And the Tigers went on to this game, and it was the spark that they had in spring training. Like I alluded to it in prior videos, and I'm not going to ramble on too much about it because I've said it so many times before. Like in spring, this team was one of the best home run hitting teams in spring. Obviously, Akil Baddoo was ripping the cover off the ball in spring, and Robbie Grossman had a couple home runs in spring, and Riley Greene, I think, had 3 home runs in spring, and Torkelson had a home run in spring, and Miguel Cabrera had a home run in spring. I think Javi Baez had 2 home runs in spring. This team was one of the better home run hitting teams in spring, but there was a spark. They had a spark plug guy. They had someone that could get on, dudes that get on base, dudes were drawing walks. And that's what we saw yesterday. There was energy in the lineup. There was guys passing in the baton. Like every at bat was good. And like you could see like Javier Baez, and I wish fans would stop booing this guy because he got booed in New York. And I understand everyone's mad that the Tigers are, not playing how they should have been playing this year. And, they paid Javier Baez a lot of money. But, this guy, I didn't even want Javier Baez on the Tigers. And I've said this a bunch of times, and I have videos to prove I didn't even want him on the Tigers. I made a whole video about it. But I had saw an at bat on that Friday game where in the 8th inning, he took a ball to right field on a 97-mile-an-hour pitch and ripped it between first and second. I'm like, oh, there you go. There's a good little hack. And I was talking to my brother on the way to the ballpark on Saturday. I'm like, he had a really good rip. Like, I think he's starting to see the ball a little bit, and he's finally starting to find something. And sure as hell, he hits that home run. Now, he went 1 for 5 yesterday, but he didn't strike out. And he's drawn a walk in his last 3 games. So I think there's a little bit of something there brewing with Javier Baez. And the reason why I say I wish they wouldn't boo, it's just like this team, there's just so much negativity around it. I'm not trying to be like a rah-rah, let's drink all the Tigers Kool-Aid kind of fans. It's just like these guys are scuffling so bad, and they're playing so bad. And like I get like why you want to boo, and if you want to boo, whatever. Just like, these guys, you could tell like something. They're getting close, and they were getting close, and we've seen the last 2 days where they've scored 21 runs over the last 2 games, and they've hit 4 home runs and all the extra base hits. So, like for him to hit that home run, it was awesome. And then Greene gets his hit, and then what happens? Spencer Torkelson, the last 2 days, is finally doing what I've been saying he needs to do. He has not been passive. The biggest thing that was driving me insane about Spencer Torkelson is he's been coming up to the plate. He has got such a good eye because he can draw walks and he gets count leverage. But then he gets too passive and he lets pitches right down the middle or pitches up and in where he should be crushing middle up. He should be crushing. He lets them go or he misses them because he's too patient. And then guys get him with that breaking ball down and away for a strike or he'll chase. And he's been just so passive at the plate. And I've been saying, I've actually been on Twitter a little bit again. I can't believe. But I've been saying even on Twitter, I'm like, I don't care if this guy strikes out a little bit more and he draws a couple less walks. I just want him to swing the bat a little bit. Because even if he puts a few more balls in play that are weak contact outs and he strikes out a couple more times trying to get the pitches on the outer third a little bit, I'm okay with that. Because he's attempting to put something in play. Because you know something? If he's swinging the bat and he's putting his A swing on a ball, even if it's something that, he doesn't have a chance to drive super far or whatever, but he's putting it in play, that's better than him standing there watching a ball and getting struck out on the outer third trying to draw a walk because he's being so passive. At least putting a ball in play, you have an opportunity to do something. And we saw that. I mean, look at Riley Greene. His first hit was a dink and dunk hit. Javier Baez had a couple of infield singles just by using speed. And what did he do? He stole a couple of bases. This team, the last 2 days, is exactly what they should have been the first 2 months. They're stealing bases. They're putting the ball in play. They're attempting to do stuff. They're swinging at pitches that they should have been swinging at and actually making contact with it. Like Jonathan Scope hits a slider a slider up the middle, down and away from him, a pitch he's been missing. Javier Baez, you went 1 for 5, and he has some of his contact outs or whatever, but he's hitting sliders again. He's at least putting them in play. I don't care if it's a weak contact or whatever, but he's putting them in play. And then today he puts balls in play, didn't strike out. He's putting them in play, doing something, gets two singles. And what does he do? Then he makes a great slide at home to score a run. And then he steals a couple of bags. And Robbie Grossman steals a bag. And, you're getting guys on base. And that's just what I've been preaching. It's what's been driving me crazy. It's just watching this team being so passive, swinging at terrible pitches, having bad at-bat after a bad at-bat after bad at-bat, And then you get a couple of guys like Victor Reyes to get a single or Harold Castro to get a single, and you see nothing come of it. Because it's just terrible plate approach after terrible plate approach. None of these guys are putting anything in play. And when they do put it in play, it's like a freaking pop-up because they're missing their pitch they should hit. And it's been brutal to watch. So to watch these last 2 games, my jaw's on the floor. Spencer Torkelson, the first 2 games of him and Riley Greene are back. And I've been saying this, said it 1,000 times in my last 4 videos. Riley Greene, I was pissed he was there. The dude has 4 hits in 2 games. After going 3 for 37, has 4 hits in 2 games, and he all of a sudden is swinging. I don't care, like I said, I don't care if he struck out, but he's swinging. He's attempting. He's not just sitting there trying to draw a walk. He's trying to, and he hits a ball in Riley Greene's debut that is a home run in a lot of other ballparks. He hit that thing in the gap off the freaking opposing bullpen's wall. And it was a piss missile. Absolutely loud as off the bat, piss missile. And it was a home run at a lot of other parks. I mean, Comerica Park, that's a big boy shot. And Torkelson's got that pop. He's got big boy pop. Piss missile, absolutely kind of piss missile shot. What does he do today? A week ago, Spencer Torkelson, when he had the bases loaded with 2 outs, on that 2-2 count, he would have struck out on a slider down and away. What does he do? 2-2 count, bases loaded, 2 outs. They get ahead of him. Torkelson's got a great eye. The ump had a bad call on the 0-1 pitch, made it 0-2. He works the count back to 2-2. And what does he do? He would have struck out on this very pitch, threw him a slider down and away, that same pitch he constantly watched because he's always trying to work a walk, flips it right back up the middle, bloops into center field. Looks like a 400-foot line shot off the wall on the scorecard, boys. Scores 2 runs. This is after the Tigers got out to another early lead today after being down again. It was basically a carbon copy of what happened on Saturday. They hit a home run. Seager hits a bomb. And by the way, Seager, he's a great player. My brother Chris, who's in my last video, he's a big fan of Seager. I'm a big fan of Seager. The dude just hits tanks. He's a great player. Hits an opposite field shot. And then yesterday he hit a moonshot over the triangle and right. Carbon copy yesterday. Grossman comes up, smacks a 3-run homer in the first. Completely changed the feel of the game. Because a Tigers team of a week ago, they would have been down 1 run in both those games, Saturday and Sunday. That Tigers team would have probably had 3 hits and got shut out. And they would have lost 5-1. That's what would have happened. Last 2 days, what they do, respond literally right away. And Eric Haas, you guys heard how much I like Eric Haas. I talked about it in my spring training video. I love Eric Haas. I know he's been freaking not swinging that great, but I'm like, the guy just needs at-bats. He's finally started to get at-bats. He's got like 4 extra base hits in the last 6 games he's played. Hit a 3-run shot yesterday. Piss missile shot. This team just looks like the team that we should have saw the first 2 months of the season. Not when they're already out of it, the whole damn thing, and they're creeping down for the worst record in baseball. But it's just a whole different feel. Like I'm sitting here talking to you in this video with actual genuine excitement. Not freaking rage from watching so many bad at-bats and watching this thing. Because the other night when Gregory Soto blew that save, and he came out today and was great, I was genuinely really pissed off. Because it's like, it's a 1-0 game, and you watch these guys struggle yet again, and they get their run real cheap-like and whatnot, and he blows that save, and then the next game, they go out and Texas crushes them, obliterates them, and then they call up Riley Greene. And everything that I said that was going to happen, like I said, asterisk sample size, guys. I'm not saying the season's saved, but everything I said that's going to happen, happened. The lineup looked different. Torkelson's swings have looked better. There's been energy in the lineup. They're stealing bases. The home runs have been hit. There's like a spark. Javier Baez is out there doing stuff. It's a completely different team. And like I said, I am so happy right now. I've never been so happy watching such a crappy team because Riley Greene's finally in the big leagues. The Riley Greene effect, I think, it's real. It's a very real thing, and it's what I've been trying to stress the last 4 damn weeks. This team can't play this bad for this long, and they proved it the last 2 days. And Riley Greene puts energy in this lineup. All the players said this. Look at Cody Clemens. He had his first Major League RBI yesterday. He hit a double, and his first Major League RBI was who? Riley Greene. Why? Because he drew 2 walks. Because he got on base 4 times yesterday. His single on the 9th, I wish the Bally would start showing that one over a single in the first, because the single on the 9th, again, left on left, they shifted him, flipped it right to left field, clean single, beautiful swing. I got a picture of it. I wish I still had my MacBook because now I record everything on my phone. I need to get a video editor because I'd insert the clip and show you guys the clip I took. It was just a lot better brand of baseball. It was an extremely fun game to go to. The last 2 days have been extremely enjoyable to watch. It's been like someone flipped the light switch on. But I cannot stress this enough for people who watch this video. Sample size, sample size, sample size. I'm not saying it's all because of him. I'm just saying he does have an effect on this freaking lineup. And they needed his bat for a long time. They need someone that's going to come up there and give a good at bat and play a good center field and steal some bases and draw some walks and bring some energy and excitement to the lineup. And that's what they did. And it's helped Torkelson. Like, Torkelson's swings look so much better, and Clemens even looked better. And, you know, it helps that Robbie Grossman finally came out of his freaking shell and did something. And Eric Haas did something. And Javier Baez exists again. So, we go on to a tough road trip. They're going to play Boston. And last time they played Boston, you know, they weren't this kind of a club. You know, last time they played Boston, Boston was kind of you know, and the Tigers, they only took 1 of 3 from the time when they played at Comerica Park. But now they're playing at Fenway. And the Red Sox are a different squad since the last time the Tigers played them. You know, they had the same record as the Tigers, I want to say sometime through May, before the Tigers really, you know, hit the bricks and fell real hard. Now, you know, they're well over 500. But the Red Sox have some pitching issues. You know, they have some bullpen issues. But they have a lot of good players, man. Like, Rafael Devers is one of my favorite players in the league. Xander Bogaerts is good. Trevor Story, you know, he exploded in May. You know, I know he's come back down to earth a little bit, but that bat's good. They have some serious talent on that team. And, you know, playing at Fenway is never easy. So they're about to go on another long road trip. You know, we'll see what they do. If they go and they go 2-8 on this road trip, you know, it wouldn't surprise me. They're not a good team. But, you know something? If they go 2-8 on this road trip, and, you know, they go out there and they score, you know, 4 or 5 runs a game, and they average 4 or 5 runs a game over this road trip, and, you know, they're losing games, you know, 6-5, whatnot like that. That's a way better loss, which I can't believe I'm saying that because losing sucks. But that's a way better brand of baseball than watching them lose 1-0 with 3 hits every single night. And, you know, everyone has an 0 for 4, and the lone hit is a Willie Castro home run. Like, that's such a horrible game, and everyone strikes out like 2 or 3 times. It's such a boring game when it's like that. So, tough road trip coming up. Going to be really happy Riley Greene is on this freaking road trip because, you know, hopefully this lineup has some kind of semblance of the lineup that scored 21 runs over the last 2 days and all the extra base hits, because that was a fun last 2 days to end the homestand. Ended a lot better than the White Sox obliterating them, and ended a lot better than the Rangers obliterating them, for sure. You know, and hopefully Erod comes back sometime soon, and, you know, Skubal has a good bounce back start because he's got hit up the last 2 times out there. But, you know, he's a good pitcher. Guys get hit. It is what it is, you know. And Brisky had his best start of his major league career last time out. He's looked really good, and hopefully Faedo bounces back. They're going to get road tested. I mean, they're playing Boston, and Arizona isn't a pushover this year. You know, they have a decent team. So we'll see. That's all I got for you guys today. Great weekend of baseball. Amazing to see Riley Greene and Spencer Torkelson together again. And hopefully the Riley Greene effect is real. So I got for you guys today. Go Tigers.